is a spring. So
see the reason why we're doing it? I forgot to fix that.
on a spring, what we want, so we're going to have our axis, but we need to make a sketch, because all we're going to have is, we're not going to cut something from something that's already there. We're going to make a sketch. We're going to make our wire diameter here, so whatever diameter the spring is going to be, it will tell it that radius, or that diameter. And then from there, we can go into the coil command to coil. So I'm just going to draw a line from that point up, turn it into a center line. Now I can draw a line from there out as a construction line. Why am I doing that? Yeah, so I can use that to give it the radius. Also, it's going to keep it lined up with that origin, so it's not going to float up and down. So now I can go to the circle, to the end of that. 6. Remember, if you dimension to the center line, so that you go to the diameter. I could say 1, which is the same as just doing the radius of ½ an inch. If I just pick the line and give you the radius, by picking the circle and the center line though, now I get the diameter. They're kind of whatever you want. This height here of this line doesn't matter. Do I need to constrain that line?
No.
My center line? No. Don't need to constrain that. It's just there for reference. So I'm going to finish, coil. Now my axis is right there. I'm going to tell it I want it to be pitch and height. So I want it to be a 0.1 pitch and a height of 1. So there's what it's going to look like. If I go to my coil ends, right now under natural, you see that as soon as it starts going into the full pitch. If I change that start to flat, now I have a flat angle, which is this first 90 degrees, it's flat. It's not changing the pitch at all. And then the next 90 degrees, it's not quite that same pitch. It's kind of in between. That's my transitional 90 degrees. Then after that, it starts the full pitch. So if I wanted that to be flat for 180, you can see now it's flat all the way across. And transitional for 180, you can see 180 it's just half a pitch, and then it goes back to full pitch. So you guys want it to be flat for 90. So if you want it to be more of a ground spring, so you can flatten it up towards the ends. You can do the same thing on the inside. And why do you think it did that?
You put the end at 90s. The other one's at 180.
No, it's because this transition angle is too flat because I can't get another circle right here.
Without it intersecting.
Because it's going to hit, remember? Can't hit.
Oh, that's the size of the coil right there.
So I'd have to,
It won't make it all the way around.
maybe let's see if I can do a 90. So at 90 it barely fits. See, that first coil is real close. So maybe if I had extended out that, so let's say my pitch is actually 0.15. Now it's a little bit looser.
Give it all some more spring.
So,
Right.
what else might I want to do with this? Maybe I want to grind the ends of it so the ends are flat, like that. Right? So it'll sit flat on whatever's mating with it. It's not going to get cockeyed. So how would I do that?
Make another sketch.
What?
Make another sketch.
Yeah, make a sketch. Where?
Bottom.
On the ground plane?
Yeah. On my main plane, or maybe even on the end of that if I wanted to. Man, that's what I'll do it on here, right on the end. Because if I do that, it's going to project that edge for me automatically. I'm just going to tell it to sketch. And I can just draw a couple rectangles. There and there. And I can just finish the sketch. Extrude, that one, and that one. And I want it to go mid-plane, cut, everything, right?
Then go far.
Now it's going to cut it off. So now if I look at that, the front, the bottom is completely flat. I could have just gone back in there also. Projected that edge and done the same thing up top, right?
Mm-hmm.
Might as well do it all in one sketch. That way if I go back in, I can just rename that. That's nothing that we've talked about yet, is renaming your features. So as you're doing bigger, more complex parts, sometimes you want to go back in, rename your features so you know what they are. So you're not just working on extrusion 58, you're working on whatever that thing was. It makes it easier to get back into it and remember what things are maybe a week or a month or a year later. So here's this. So I'm going to save that. I'm going to close it. I'm going to open. Go back to my project folder. So there's my spring. I want to copy it. And I want to make one that's compressed. So I just copied it, renamed it. Now I want to open that new one. Spring compressed. So there's that spring. Looks like I've done it. Now I have to go to the coil. Edit that, go to coil size. I can see it here. If I change this pitch down, what's going to happen if I leave it on this setting? It's going to change how far it's going, right? And the overall height. So I could tell it revolutions in height. And then I can just change the number of revolutions down. So go back to pitch and height. That was at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and I don't know, a little bit. So so I could go in and change that down. So if I knew how many
much Dr. Pepper's, man. Calm down there.
I can keep that revolutions the same. And then just change that height down. And I would compress it, keep that same revolution. So when I had made it first, if I had just done it revolutions and pitch, so if I made it first, revolutions and pitch, so pitch 1.5, revolutions 7.5. You didn't like that sketch now. Oh, because it's flipped directions, that's why. But if I told it that, cancel. Then I can go back into it. Let me just delete that drawing. So if I told it pitch revolutions, I can come back and tell it revolutions and height, because we want to keep this revolution the same. So when you compress the spring, it doesn't unwind. So now I can just change the height of that down to whatever it should be, and it'll compress them. Or I could go in and change the pitch, kind of either way. But you can just copy another one, make it smaller. So that way you could show a compressed one or an expanded one. So that's spring. So any questions on springs?